Well, a very good morning on the first day of September. I love September. I think it's a fabulous month. I really do. And my flowers are really pretty. I absolutely adore these ones. And look at my asters. They've come away perfectly. And there's late blooms on my calendulas in this corner and the African daisies. I told you this, we're going to get a Indian summer and they're all coming back to give us a smile. I've been busy actually, but I've been cutting back well, necessary jobs and stuff, but I've done a lot along the whole hedge line actually, which was essential to be done. Much of the flowers are going back, of course, because as I said, I'll definitely put the name of this one up for you. I'll locate it and put it up. It's just a sort of, it's almost like an Aztec type name. Look at these little cheerful fellas in here. These are all from seed, you see. And my Achillea in this corner didn't do very well. It got absolutely toasted. This should have been a lovely golden yellow. They were yellow for a while, but they got absolutely burnt, so they're not going back here. This will be taken away from this spot. And if you're wondering what this is about, I've been cleaning my windows. I love cleaning my windows. I like the sparkle when they're all done. Of course, I use vinegar and a tiny amount of windowline spray. I've had it for about 12 years. I'll use so little of this little bottle that it lasts me forever. But we'll have a fresh bloom of this. This is not ivy, this is called periwinkle. It comes out in that delightful sort of mauve and white flower. It's very beautiful. And the geraniums have come back for a second bust. These are very happy in my garden, and I absolutely adore them. There's the old bluebells. You see how you take them out once they reach that stage. But they're problematic, as I said before. There's too many of them. This area has been tidy, but it's a difficult area. This one, it's not so good to handle. I don't normally have my garden bin here, but it's been here for a reason. It's certainly heating that sunshine. And the reason I cleared this area was, of course, I mentioned in the last wittering that I wanted to see them to get some light. And you can see how the faint pinks and crimson colours are starting to show. Well, these will come into a very, very deep colour, and they're absolutely adored by bees. The hoverflies and of course the butterflies in abundance. Look at the mint. The mint's gone to seed. I can smell it from here. It's absolutely adorable. I've got loads and loads of mint everywhere. I shall make mint sauce. I've done it before. I did tell you I was going to make some mint ice cream. Why don't I do that soon? This borders, as you would expect, is now looking a bit ragged. All the Michaelmas daisies have retreated, so I need to snip the heads. But I quite like the structure of these plants. It keeps, just for a little longer, reminds you how wonderful they all were. There's still some flowers coming through, you see. And these ones down here, these asters didn't do particularly well, I'm afraid, because they're too well hidden. But nevertheless, this is a short-fruited willow herb, and it comes out a delightful pink. It's edible, but I have eaten it, but it's not on my menu often. But I take them out because they do spread rapidly. And these ones down in here, these asters have been in my garden for at least 20 years now. They come out a gorgeous purple colour. They're really, well, it's the last remnants for all the insects, particularly the bees and stuff. They love it. And talking about bees, they're all about, look, they're still trying to get some nectar, and there's plenty of it still available to these lovely creatures. I absolutely adore the bees, I really do. There's so many different varieties and species of these insects and stuff, you know. Look at this little fella down here. Look how happy he is. Can I stand back from the shade, Annie? Or is that the plant that's doing that? Yes, it is. They're gorgeous, and they speak to you. They do speak. Basically, it's kind of say, well, you don't bother me, I'll not bother you, sort of thing. And we've still got some sweet peas, and but this border's all going to be redesigned, I'm afraid. It's just it's been too hectic this year. It's just been very difficult. But in saying so, you can see the asters here as well are coming up, and this is this horrible stuff that I can't get rid of. This budfoot trefoil. It's a damn nuisance, to be honest. So that's the reason why I'm going to be digging it up, everything, and brushing down everything and restarting the whole border. I'll actually put up some photographs of my hedge all the way along. It was extremely hard work. It always is. It's done on an annual basis, but it's a very difficult job. It takes some motivation to get started. Once I get into the rhythm, it's not so bad. It's the honeysuckle around the doorstep here is. I mean, it lacks a lot of water in that corner, but it's facing the strong sunshine for most of the day. But nevertheless, it's a pretty plant, both in spring and autumn. It's a really fabulous day. As I say, I love September. September for me is probably the best month of the year. It's just that crossover between the summer we've had and the winter to come, sort of thing, you know. It's a delightful time of year. I think I've always enjoyed it since I remember in primary school, where I was every day at the start of the day up on the right hand side of the jotter. I always dated my day. I still kind of do that, don't I? But I loved writing, and the date that comes to mind so often, because I'd mastered the art of my handwriting, and I put it down as the 23rd of September. Was it 1972 or 1973? I think it was probably 73. I think in 72 my handwriting was still a bit off. Although they do say that your handwriting is, at that age, is what it's going to be for life. I'm not entirely sure if that's the truth, but certainly certain squiggles and dotting the I's and crossing the T's all come from that point in your life, doesn't it? So it's all just a bit between things now, because we're at that time of year. I've mentioned these pots often, but I can't do everything at once, you see. But I'm going to have a special herb bed for all this lot. They deserve it. They don't want to be in pots, not really. And look at these sunny creatures. The sun's gone behind the cloud just temporarily, I'm afraid, but let me just wait a moment. Where is it? I have to say the moon was fabulous the other night ago. I've not loaded anything of late, but I absolutely adored that moon. I knew it was a blue moon. I knew this several weeks back. It's also a period for Mercury to be in retrograde again. It went retrograde on the 26th of August, and it'll be like that for 3 weeks, of course. Look at this little fellow. It just looks like an ice cream, doesn't it? Vanilla and raspberry type ice cream. Well, vanilla with raspberry on top or something, you know. Banana ice cream. So this is where that oak barrel's going to go. I might even just build a little semicircular type wall in there and fill that with earth. But the problem with that is the slugs then take home, and it's a never-ending battle with slugs. But they do wish to be homed in my garden for some reason. I've organised this a little bit. These will all be washed, of course. Perhaps not in the autumn. Most likely I'll wash them all in the springtime, because lots of the insects which have taken up residence in there, well, they want to be there for the winter to keep cosy, so I'll leave them until the spring. This, of course, is my additional water source. This is an old fridge of mine, but the water collection here and the water in there is absolutely adored by the pot plants. They really love that. I think there's some metallic residue, you know, sort of iron, which feeds into the plant itself and gives it vitamins. And this is my wood stock of, I think you've seen this plenty of times, of course, but so there's a lot of burning there for the winter. Depends on the severity of the winter, but these will be the last, well, these will be kept for the worst days in January and February, of course. Well, December and January, February. And I constructed this for my, it was meant to be a base layer for this, you know, to put on top of my breeze blocks for my new shed in the area that I'd chosen, but I've kind of held back on that decision for a while. So meanwhile, it's a great place for storing all my offcuts from the hedges and trees that I do every year. And as I say, I don't really discard that much. I tend to utilise everything and recycle. Not because I'm, you know, worried about the climate there, that shit, and more that's because these, you know, the round here has given such beauty and such vigorous growth over the last 18 months to 2 years. I don't really want to just dump it any old place, so I'm going to be using these as I normally do for repairing fences. It's quite a flexible material, the round. As with the elder here, unfortunately the elder doesn't last with its, you know, flexibility for quite so long once it's been cut, but it will do a ton. And of course elder dries out rather quickly and becomes quite fragile, and it's not really good fencing material. The hazel is, of course, this is hazel, but that hazel was not for that purpose. I did intend to keep that, or maybe even gift it to somebody for a you know, a proper walking staff. So the wood that, oh, incidentally, this teapot is going to be filled with snowdrops. I've decided that I'll put some snowdrops in, take this, put it in from fresh soil, put snowdrops in here and put that in my windowsill. The kettle, which was on top of the round tree, which I've cut back here, it sat on there as a respite for the robin or whatnot, but this is going to be actually properly secured to the wall up at that corner like this, and the robin hopefully will make home in there and stop any nonsense that well, it wasn't nonsense, I'm still broken hearted about what happened back in it was the month of May, I think it was, but anyway, the robin's back. It's the same robin, but he's come back. We've had a chat. Everything's all sorted out. He's forgiven me, and well, she's forgiven me, and we've made up. So he's been here for a couple of weeks or more. It normally comes back in August anyway, but and so he's fluts around, and he comes down for a drink and occasional bathe in the fresh water that I put out for the birds daily. And my parsley's all right. I've been using quite a bit of that, and of course the aloe vera, which I transplanted, didn't do very well in the summer heat and the rains, but it is greening up, and then it will come inside with me, probably to my bedroom windowsill to overwinter, and it should they should come away all right. They'll turn green, so that's all that counts. This is further carnation cuttings. They've been kind of shaded in here, but they're all right. I'll put them in the windowsill as well, inside for the winter. And these calendulas, I didn't transplant them, but they will be getting put into one of my pots. They'll be all right. They're fine there. They're quite happy. And I've cut back this Sweet Sicily just a couple of days back, because this is another area which I need to give some proper attention to. The likes of the rhododendron here, well, you can cut that back quite fiercely and it'll always come back. It's been with me a long time, this one. And this willow here, well, I don't know. I'm not keen in the willow. Have suckers that go everywhere, and they take a lot of energy out of the soil. So I'm not. I mean, it's all right, but it keeps out a lot of noise, and it's a great place for the birds to tuck in on a windy day, or when it's cold, or when it's rather wet. They get away inside, and they're quite happy. I've left these brambles because the mouse will probably creep up there and have a little nibble on the brambles. There's plenty of them, and the mouse comes along and eats quite a lot of stuff in the garden, actually, berries and fruit, and the strawberries particularly. I don't eat any of the strawberries. I'll leave it for the mouse. I'll just come back and show you what I'm talking about. Don't want to make this too long, actually, but anyway. So so these strawberries down in the lower levels, they're all for the mice, or the mouse, because there's only ever see one mouse. And these strawberries here, it comes up and has a little nibble. I can always tell it's the mouse, because the size of the bite out of the berry. It's not a greedy thing. It just takes what it wants. Will give a little taste in its mouth. Oh yes, I was going to show you. See, these are all coming fine. It's just they've struggled very against the harsh summer that we had, but these are gorgeous. Do you not think so? Look at these. And they're scented as well, so that's all the better. And look, the Nemesia's doing a little bit late flowering as well, so that's all good. I have to make sure these are kept watered. This one's done its job, but what I'm most pleased about is the carnations I put in here, the dianthus to be more precise. Look, this is grown from a cutting, and it's taken very well, so this will come out and be put in one of my new beds, possibly even in the big drumming area that I was talking about, so that it doesn't get the sun all day, but it likes a bit of warm sunshine like the rest of us. And this is that wood stock. This is why I can't get my bin in there just now, my garden bin, because this is going to be the first lot of wood. Well, I'm using the stuff in here first of all, and then once this has been depleted, I'll then transfer all that stuff in there and get back to business on the the freedom to push my wheelie bin back and forth without any obstructions. Coal bunker, still got my heather in there, which is bone dry, and you know about this. And the rounds here, well, we've had a lot of chats. They don't want to go away to the woods. They've been telling me, especially this one. She's absolutely adorable, this round, and of course they protect me from any witches and evil things that come towards the house, so they're quite happy there actually. But I might pot them into bigger, larger pots. You know about this area all been done, and this is the ISO area, so you're not getting to see. This is the part I'm still undecided about. I have been doing a few things. This area here is always one of the ones I'll leave till the winter, because the weeds come through at their own speed. I think this is a little goldenrod plant. I used to have these regular along the borders, but I inadvertently threw them all away and dug them up, and so this one's come back for, hello Annie, and it's a beautiful little thing. Grows quite tall, and it's a pleasant autumn flower. And you can see here as well that all these geraniums were not cut back, they've all just come back for a second show, so that's great news. The back area here, which I have the lemon balm, these are fresh enough on the growth to pick these and use them, so that will all be done. Get a dry day and just, you know, store all these for winter. These are the earlier lemon balm, so they're kind of, in my opinion, going back a wee bit. They've lost their most of the nutrition and value, but the beer leaves are still great. The sun's disappeared, but you can see the hedges have been all trimmed back along the tops here, right round, and I've been extremely busy. Oh yes, I decided I would get myself a bench rather than make one. That wood I got to make the bench, I decided to make that foundation type, you know, to lay on top of the breeze blocks, and I put the shed on top or whatever I'm going to do at the back, but that's some way off. But this, I've done that, and it's a wonderful rustic bench, and it's really comfortable actually. I'll just give you a quick demonstration how comfortable it is to sit upon. It's really grand actually. I can just sit here with my book in a calm evening with no traffic noise. Even right now there's no traffic. Perfect. Just a robin, hear him. Perfect sound, Sandy. Perfect sounds. And of course the birch trees in its favourite position. Well, it's always been in actually. I put that in 20. I can't even think what I'm talking about. 21 years ago that's been there. And I trained it to fold, you know, I tied it down so that the whole thing would grow this way, and it's done its job. So that took about 4 years of it trying to pop up, and I used to keep cutting. You see all the cuts and stuff, I used to keep cutting it off at the top and stuff like that, so it makes sure it always folded this way. So I've done a good job, and I'm quite pleased with that. And this fern in here, it quite likes its position. I like when it goes golden brown, it's beautiful. And the Atibes here has lost its pink colour. These make grand dry flowers, taking down foliage down to the graveside and stuff like that. This sycamore here is earmarked for the woods. I make a little woodland. I shall leave my Scots pine for a couple of years more. It just loves it there, it really does. And I was going to cut back some of the top parts of the Lelandii here, but I've made a decision that, well, I might do that in the winter, but for the moment I quite like my tunnel area here, you see. It offers great dimension and scope, and I've done all these beds and stuff, and I've been very busy. This will all be cut back, of course, and all this has been done as well, so it's all looking very, very good. It looks like I'm out of footage at the moment, so I shall bid you farewell and thank you for listening to me once again.